Hello and welcome to another edition of Political Roundup on Voice of the People TV. I am your host, Jerry Arpelihai. Welcome to the Political Roundup once again, where we unravel the intricacies of today's political landscape as our team of seasoned analysts is here to bring you deep insights and comprehensive overviews of the issues that matter most. Join us as we explore the complex discussions that shape our society, equipping you with experts' perspectives to navigate the paths ahead. First on the agenda today, where former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has entered the fray between Dangote Refinery and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA), warning that no investor will trust a nation that undermines its key assets. In a Facebook post, Abubakar emphasized the importance of the 650,000 barrel per day refinery for Nigeria's energy needs and economic stability, calling it a crucial driver of the nation's economy. In a related development, NNPC Group Chief Executive Officer Mele Kyari has denied owning a blending plant in Malta, stating that he is not aware of any NNPC employee who operates such a facility in the European island nation. In a social media post, Kyari challenged Dangote Group President Aliko Dangote to publicly reveal the names of NNPC personnel allegedly involved in operating a blending plant in Malta. Away from that, where Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has asked protesters planning to stage an end bad governance demonstration next month to postpone their action and wait for his administration's response to their grievances, according to Information Minister Mohammed Idris. A planned protest against economic hardship scheduled to take place across Nigeria in August has been met with opposition from the government. Still more, where the Nigerian Senate and House of Representatives have passed a new minimum wage bill which aims to increase the country's minimum wage from 30,000 to 70,000 naira. The bill was passed in record time, with all three readings completed in just 1 hour in both chambers. The legislation was requested by President Bola Tinubu and was debated and negotiated by lawmakers before being put to a vote. According to Okpeyemi Bamidele, the majority leader of the Senate, the figure of 70,000 naira was agreed upon by all parties after extensive negotiations. All right, after this brief pause, we'll delve further into these topics and more. Stay tuned as our discussion unfolds. Welcome back. Let's now explore the core of our discussion. We told you earlier that the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has entered the fray between Dangote Refinery and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority (NMDPRA), warning that no investor will trust a nation that undermines its key assets. In a Facebook post, Abubakar emphasized the importance of the 650,000 barrels per day refinery for Nigeria's energy needs and economic stability, calling it a crucial driver of the nation's economy. Abubakar has expressed concern over the ongoing dispute between Aliko Dangote's refinery and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Authority, warning that it could deter foreign direct investments in the country. The conflict has been ongoing, with Dangote alleging that the cabal is blocking its efforts to import crude, and the NMDPRA questioning the quality of its refinery's products. Atiku emphasized the importance of the Dangote refinery, Nigeria's largest private investment for the country's energy and economic stability, and urged the resolution to the dispute. Also, former Nigerian presidential candidate Peter Obi, a Labour Party politician, has publicly endorsed the Dangote refinery project, urging the government to support it instead of hindering its progress. Today, I'm delighted to be joined by two esteemed guests. Here in the studio, we have Mr. Peter Anosike. Mr. Anosike is a philosopher, development economist, and best-selling author. He is also an erudite commentator on economy, finance, politics, and power. Great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
It's always a pleasure. And of course, joining us virtually is Dr. Joe Odiaja, a respected political affairs commentator all the way from the United States of America.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here. Just to know that I cannot see you. Hopefully you see me.
Oh, sorry about that. Definitely we'll get to that point where it will be resolved. But I think Mr. Anosike would like to ask you some very interesting questions. What's the update from the United States of America as regards the Democratic candidates and the sudden step down of Joe Biden?
Decision to give it up, and that's understandable. And people applaud him because once again, he showed that what is good for the country is better than what is good for him. Something you cannot see from people like Trump. And I hope that people from developing countries will learn that, you know, no matter who you are, the country is bigger than who you are. And therefore, you put the country first. So we'll see what happens. Kamala Harris is highly qualified, but there are other factors that may not go her way. So we'll see what happens.
So does that mean she doesn't stand a chance against Trump?
We mean Kamala Harris?
Yes. Does she stand a chance against Donald Trump?
Oh, yeah, she stands a great chance. The only thing that, in fact, no matter how you look at it, Trump is not even qualified to run for presidency. But that's a different story. The only thing is Kamala Harris, being a black woman, the question is whether most white people in this country at this point are ready to elect a black woman or a female. So we will find out what happened. But in terms of qualification, there's really, it's like night and day.
All right. Mr. Anosike, you would like to agree with him that about questioning Donald Trump candidacy?
When people are energizing somebody, I will ask myself, because this man was forced to resign. His stepping aside was it's not voluntary. He wanted to continue this race, but he was forced to resign. That's a fact. So saying that he did that because of the what we call in philosophy greater good is wrong. He said, "I'm going nowhere. I'm in the race. I'm the only one that will beat Donald Trump." So it was when he saw that the forces are gathering against him, that his campaign fund is drying up. Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, Obama, and others are saying that this man must rethink his election. And they showed him what that the poll is saying, that he has no way of beating Donald Trump. That's why he resigned. So it is not that it was voluntary. So there's no statesmanship here at all.
Well, the question is on my mind to ask is, do you think America is ready for a first woman president?
Well, the first black African president did not benefit us.
Okay.
Africa did not benefit from Obama. And then, so, in 2008, when Obama ran for the presidency, I was awake all night till morning. The result was announced at 8 minutes past 5 a.m. Understand me? I was awake from night till morning waiting for the result to be announced. And when the result was announced, I shed tears that what Martin Luther King fought has come to fruition. I shed tears like Reverend Jesse Jackson, which I regretted few years later. Because Obama's presidency did not help Africa, number one. Number two, Obama/Biden is behind the problem that we have in this country. Because Obama sabotaged Jonathan. Remember the meeting that John Kerry and the 19 state governors had. Remember that Obama stopped Jonathan from buying Tucano jets. Remember the message that Obama sent during the week of the nation that Nigeria should look for a change.
All right.
And that was how Buhari came in, and that's why we are suffering what we are suffering now. It was from that time that I turned my mind against Obama and Biden because it is joint ticket. That's why I never wish them well.
All right. All right. Of course, definitely boiling points there coming from Mr. Peter Nosiki, an erudite speaker when it comes to politics and, of course, world affairs. I know talking about Dr. Joe will also have his point of view. But before we go back to that discussion, all right, let's take Dr. Joe there just quietly, just very, very, take it very slightly. Let's
Dr. Udaja should tell us what we benefited from an African being American president.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, first of all, there's no doubt that Biden made his decision based on pressure. That's true.
Fine.
However,
thank you.
Biden stayed. He still had most Democrats behind him. So at the end of the day, you have to give him credit. Having said that, let me go to Obama. Obama was president of the United States, not president of Africa. Obama remains probably the 5th best president of the United States. And he should be judged based on what they did for America. Okay? He was not president of Africa. I think this idea that because he was a black man, therefore he will do all this ABCD for Africa. That's not how it happens. That's not how it works.
All right.
And that on him was totally unnecessary. Okay? If I were to be president of America today, it's actually different because I was born in and raised in Africa. Obama was not born in Africa. He was raised to some extent, but he is an American, 100%. His number one focus is 100%. If I were president of America, my number one focus is America, just like anybody else.
All right.
Okay, excuse me. So why should we be happy that a black American woman wants to be president of America? There's nothing to rejoice about it. So, let them continue with white people.
All right. Let's just leave that conversation for another day because definitely I was expecting it to get to this point. But let's come back to the issue of Atiku Abubakar expressing his concerns in the battle between Dangote Refinery and the Nigerian regulatory bodies like the NMDPRA. And Atiku Abubakar raised his concerns about investor trust in light of this dispute. How do you share in his concerns coming from Atiku Abubakar over this dispute between Dangote Refinery and the regulatory bodies in the oil and gas sector? Dr. Joe.
Both Atiku and P2B came out to speak, although they approached it differently. However, at the end of the day, they both spoke about what is important. The fact is that Atiku, that's his personal business, but it's a business that has a lot to do for Nigeria. And at this critical time, undermining any business is bad, but undermining what he's doing or he's trying to do is very helpful. So I was glad to see both Atiku and Peter Obi came out and expressed their displeasure with people that are trying, or groups that are trying to undermine what will help the country. So I give them credit for that, and I hope they continue.
All right, let's go back to Mr. Arnold CK. If you take a look at it, what steps can political leaders take to support Dangote refinery project while ensuring effective regulatory oversight?
Atiku talked about the effect it will have on foreign investors.
Okay.
A Yoruba adage says, if a crocodile can eat its own egg, what will it not do to the egg of the other creatures? That if a crocodile can eat its own egg, what will it not do to the egg of other creatures? Understand? Dangote is our biggest entrepreneur. He's Africa's biggest entrepreneur. And look how Nigerian government is treating him. So if Nigerian government is treating their own biggest entrepreneur this way, what hope has a foreign entrepreneur or a foreign investor? So this is going to scare foreign investors from coming into this country. Many years back, everybody was saying when Dangote, the refinery comes on stream, when Dangote's refinery comes on stream, that was the word on everybody's mouth. Dangote refinery will stop importation. Understand me? Government was parroting this. Even APC campaigned with it. Then last year it was pomp and celebration when Buhari commissioned it. Lagos traffic was shut down. The who is who in the country were at during the Ibejuneki when Dangote refinery was commissioned. Tinubu was there. Even this Farouk was also there when Buhari commissioned it. Everybody celebrated. Everybody was happy. The same man that is saying that, then it is this Farouk now that is saying that it is only 45% ready, and that the product is even inferior. What happened in his own presence? This shows you the hypocrisy. Since then till now, you've never made any comment. Because why? You feel that Dangote refinery will remove sugar from your mouth. Because when importation stops, your own resources will be affected. This is personal interest. So for me, what they are doing, and my concern is that when two elephants fight, it is the masses that are going to suffer. And that's why today we read a report that landing cost of PMS is now 1,117 naira. If Dangote is refining, there will be nothing like landing cost. Understand me? Because it is being refined at our own backyard. Which means the price of petroleum products will come down. But these people who have been making money from importation are the ones that is sabotaging this. No matter what they do, no matter what they say, Dangote remove shame from our faces by building this refinery. Because producing crude and you cannot refine in your country is a shame. And that was what Dangote removed from us. So Dangote refinery is a pride to Nigerians. So everybody should support it.
All right, talking about Dangote, has been having issues with talking about the regulatory body and the NNPCL most of recent. And with this continued impasse between Dangote refinery and the regulatory bodies like the NNPC and the NMDPRA, what impact is it going to have on ordinary Nigerians? And taking a look at the jobs at stake at the refinery and the energy prices, let's not forget, because once these things continue, that means we're not going to be sure or certain of what prices are going to be chunked out daily when it comes to diesel and other commodities in the energy sector.
Are you asking me or Dr.
Let me go to Dr. Joe Diaja.
What seems to be going on here is not competition. Competition is healthy, okay? But what seems to be going on here is not competition. It's really undermining what will help Nigeria. And I said this, I've been saying this long ago, that one of the challenges Nigeria will have as they embark on providing certain services within the country is that there are a lot of interest groups within the country now, some of them many of them from outside, although using Nigerians. And that is unfortunate. Now, does that happen anywhere in the world? Of course, yes. The problem with the case of Nigeria, though, is that in general, Nigerians do not like to see progress within and in between other Nigerians. There is you can call it jealousy, but it's beyond jealousy. And then you put tribalism, you put all these things, and then you find a situation that allows undermining on what is good for the country. So if it is just competition, I'm fine with it because competition is healthy. So what does that really mean? It will affect investors, but let's be careful. Foreign investors is not really always healthy for Africans. So as we talk about foreign investors as the only group affected, let's understand that investors within Nigeria, that is Nigerians, are also affected. And those are the ones that we should put as number one. Because right now, Article OB, all of them, pretty much all of them, are investing in foreign nations. So this has huge impact. And my hope is that the government will step in, okay? I know government is involved to some extent in terms of making certain things a little difficult, but they should still step in. And it may be that the legal system should be involved because if it happens to Dangote, it will happen to other people. And that is not good for the nation. There must be a way to control it. And I hope that will be the case.
All right, Mr.
Well, this is not the issue of competition. This is the issue of trying to kill Dangote refinery. When the government agent said that his product is inferior, what does that mean? Which means you shouldn't buy it. And that it is only 45% ready, that they have not even licensed it. That's what he said. One, that they have not licensed it, it is 45% ready, it is inferior.
Those are damning words.
These are damning words, and this is what should be a pride to your country. This should be what you will be proud of, that Nigeria is now refining their own oil, that our crude is no more being sent to the other countries. With data I am seeing, it's very, very obvious that Port Harcourt refinery is not going to work. There will be no crude for Port Harcourt refinery. Now, what we're having now is 1,400,000 barrels per day. And if Dangote requires 650, so minus 1.4, minus 650 from 1.4, how many remains? Which one would they sell? Okay, which one would
other refineries refine?
Which one will Port Harcourt refinery or refine?
So, but if you take a look at the maths here, it's not even mathing, because that means there will have to be a shared responsibility, for instance. Because you cannot now give majority of the
They cannot
products
be
for
doing
Dangote.
they cannot be doing a rotation. Understand me? Maybe give this one today, give another one to tomorrow.
Can we say that the idea of starting up a refinery and giving license to various refineries was not well thought out, looking at the amount of barrels per day that we are able to even have available?
Oh, ordinary at the optimum, are supposed to be producing 2.8 billion.
Million barrels.
Understand? But now, Buhari licensed 22 companies to refine. Where is the crude?
For them to refine.
Where is the crude?
Very interesting. All right, and of course, with the way things are going,
2.8 million.
8 million, yeah. I was going to say that, definitely I did say that. And taking a look at this impasse, as the president of the country, what is he supposed to be doing, Dr. Joe Odeaja, in a very sane society, with the silence coming from the president himself, and with the way this thing is going? How far can it go before it reaches a boiling? Because it's at a boiling point right now, and we are talking about the way forward for Nigerian economy.
Way forward is the administration doing what they are doing now. Okay, yes, they are quiet in this particular situation, but being quiet doesn't mean that something is not in the works. I do believe that something is in the works, and also, you know, we talk about protests. Maybe we'll talk about it today. I don't know. But, you know, this is one of those things that Nigerian youth should actually come out and protest. Target the protest to say, you must let our indigenous companies survive. Okay? You see, loving yourself is not a detriment to loving others, but you must love yourself before you can love others. Otherwise, it becomes a wash. Nigerians, unfortunately, and for the most part, most Africans, especially West Africans, have always felt that they should look up to foreign for their needs. And I understand all the history about that. But at this point, our people should be able to say, if we have somebody like Dangote and other businesses, even small ones, we should encourage them and fight any attempt to undermine them. Electricity is very important. Unfortunately, if you look around you now, all these small plants everywhere, those people importing them will be fighting that Nigeria will not have a sustainable electricity. So I would hope that not just waiting for the government, but the people should say, you know what? We cannot continue to allow this, regardless of whether it's Dangote or anybody else. This is not right. This is what protesting, more so than just protesting because we are hungry. So again, I'm pretty sure the government is looking at things to do, and they should. I can't imagine that this administration is not looking at that and knowing the impact of what this could be on the national, on the people and on the country.
All right, let's go back to the next conversation where, in a related development, NNPC Group's Chief Executive Officer Mele Kyari has denied owning a refinery in a blending plant in Malta, stating that he is not aware of any NNPC employee who operates such a facility in the European island nation. In a social media post, Kyari challenged Dangote Group President Aliko Dangote to publicly reveal the names of NNPC personnel allegedly involved in operating a blending plant in Malta. Over the weekend, Dangote, Africa's richest man and the owner of a $20 billion refinery in Lagos, said some NNPC personnel and oil traders operate a blending plant in Malta, thereby frustrating local production of petroleum products. All right, going over to Mr. Adasike, what are the implications of Ali Dangote's accusations against NNPC personnel allegedly owning refineries abroad?
Well, Dangote is not of the type that just talks for talking's sake. He's not that kind of a person. He is an introvert. And whenever he comes out, know that there's something serious. I can tell anybody for free that Dangote has far more information than the GMD of NNPC. I can tell you that on authority, because Dangote Group have a 11-member board of directors. 9 of them are non-Nigerians. So, and these are experts in different fields. So Dangote has far more information, and what he said is not even new. It is a fact that some Nigerians has refineries abroad, and that's why they are bringing bad fuel into this country. Remember what happened last year when they brought in petroleum products that were destroying engines. So what this guy, if it's not in Malta, it could be in other places in the world.
All right, so that means his accusations should be taken seriously.
Well, whenever Dangote talks, he should be, because he doesn't drink, so we cannot say that he was drunk.
All right, let's go back to Dr. Joe Diaja. Amelia Kyari has denied NNPC involvement in a blending plant in Malta. How should the government and regulatory bodies investigate and address these allegations to uphold transparency?
Well, they should investigate it, okay? Again, being an introvert, not drinking, and so on, those are all different characteristics of human beings. That doesn't mean that an introvert doesn't lie. That doesn't mean that somebody who doesn't drink doesn't lie.
Are you saying Dangote could be lying?
No.
Okay.
I'm not lying. I'm just saying let's be careful, because we cannot use those to define anybody. Okay.
All right.
Otherwise, we would then say that extrovert lies or whoever drinks lies. No. The point
when
is,
you talk to
under the influence, you could lie.
well, that's the key. Under the influence, but introvert or extrovert has little to do with lying or not.
Okay.
But the point is, these are allegations, and they should be investigated. Okay, and there are ways to investigate it. If Nigerian government cannot investigate it, then something is wrong. So I'm not even surprised, without reading that, I'm not surprised that such is possible. However, until facts are put on the table, it's hard to say. So what I'm saying is that I would say Dangote may be right. At the same time, the government should investigate this, not taking it that because Dangote said it is true. Also, not taking it that because the other party denied it, therefore it cannot be true. No, I would say right now, from a personal opinion, that the chances that it is very likely that what Dangote said is right. But that has to be established and well adjudicated. And then use that as an example that when people say things, they should follow up with investigation. I have to say that having only about 2 Nigerians in the board of directors of Dangote Group is very disappointing. Again, it is his business and he can run it the way he likes. But I do hope that Nigerians start looking inwards to find people, because you cannot protect your proprietary, you cannot protect your trademark, you cannot protect your intelligence by having foreigners be at the helm of your company. That doesn't mean you cannot hire them, but this rush to get foreigners, because we are used to, if we don't see foreigners there, oh, it must not be real. Nigerians, get out of that. Get out of that mindset, because it doesn't help you. Look within and train your people to do it, because there are people who can do it. So if I see Dangote today, I would say I admire you and I respect you. But if it is true that you only have Nigerians in your board of directors, I am disappointed and I hope you change it. Again, I respect him and I really believe that he's a treasure to the country.
All right. I don't know whether Mr. Anosi would like to react to that, but because of time, we need to go over to the next agenda where Nigerian President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has asked protesters planning to stage an end bad governance demonstration next month to postpone their action and wait for his administration's response to their grievances, according to Information Minister Mohammed Idris. A planned protest against economic hardship scheduled to take place across Nigeria in August, has been met with opposition from the government. The protest, which has gained traction on social media, is aimed at expressing frustration over rising prices of food and basic commodities due to the country's worst inflation and economic crisis. The federal government, National Rotation Agency, Nigerian Police Force, and House of Representatives have warned against the protest, citing concerns it could lead to violence and assert destruction similar to the 2020 End SARS protest. The Nigerian Labour Congress and Senator Ali Ndube have called on President Bola Tinubu to address the demands of the protesters, mostly youths. And now to the question, Mr. Anosike. President Tinubu has asked protesters to postpone their end bad governance demonstration. How effective is this approach in addressing the grievances of Nigerians, particularly amidst the rising economic hardship?
Well, you said that it was met by opposition. No government in the world welcomes protest.
Definitely.
So, government is doing what they're supposed to do. But the issue is that you're asking them that to wait till when. And this government has formed a habit of not giving a time frame. Jerry, the truth is that you can never achieve what you cannot measure. You can never achieve what you cannot measure. And whenever Tinubu is talking, he doesn't give a timeline. And when somebody is not giving you a timeline, you cannot hold him responsible. Because he did not tell you, I will do this in 3 months, in 6 months, or in 1 year. So this is a deliberate deception. For me, I know that protest is one of our ways of expressing ourselves. It is one of our fundamental human rights. But I am not an advocate or an exponent or a proponent of breaking law and order. I cannot advocate for destruction of life and properties. If there must be protest, I admonish that it should be peaceful. It should be non-violent. It should be peaceful. It should be non-violent. If you don't want people to protest, do what will not make them to protest. They say you cannot beat a child and still stop the child from crying. So these guys have beaten Nigerians over and over. And there's a limit to human
ask and demand in protest that they be served as it demands from government officials. Well, taking a look at matters arising, there have been promises of refinery going to start, but it looks like Dangote refinery July target is off the table already because August is around the corner when the protest is supposed to start. We've seen even Melia Kyari telling Nigerians that we are not lying after so many postponements. I don't know what kind of, what does that make of government officials if they keep on making promises and keep shifting grounds each time and each time. The government has been given 1 year. I remember we've brought you on this program. You said the government should be given 1 year. This is July. August is already here. How long will the protest be shifted? Is it on the 4 years after or during the second term?
Well, in general, I support protest, okay, when there is need for it. Peaceful protest has helped to change the world, and I support it. However, the incessant protests in Nigeria now really will not result in something that
What
will
is incessant protest? Because this is the first major protest that we are all looking like it might happen in August. Because so far so good, Nigerians have been waiting. I've not seen any protest.
well,
The only one we saw was a pocket of NLC protest and demonstration.
Demanding for
Minimum wage.
For minimum wage.
Yes, there's been no end bad governance protest so far. Okay, go ahead.
sure, I misspoke. I guess what I would say is
Okay.
call for.
Okay. Okay.
I support protest, but there has to be a goal. This particular protest, I don't even see much need for it. Yes, things are hard, but the government is doing things. The government is doing things. There's student loan, there's food that they are throwing to the states.
Okay, are you mentioning the student loan as part of what the government is doing right? For example,
it will immediately. Yes, it will help not immediately. Okay.
But we need immediate results because we've been going through lots of pain. The pain has been on for 8 years plus now, and Nigerians need results after 8 years of APC. Now another 1 year of another new government under APC.
Well, the minimum wage was just approved faster than it has been. It will not affect many people, but it will help. The point is this.
It has not been approved yet. Let's just put that into perspective. Just passed the third reading, and we're still waiting for a stamp in it. Yes.
That's true, but it will be approved unless something else comes up.
Okay.
The point is that, yes, things are hard. Government does not necessarily have to give you timeline when it comes to economic recovery. Okay. It takes time because there are many factors controlling it. Just like we're talking about Dangote, we thought that by now Dangote would be running. Well, look at what happened. We thought that Port Harcourt oil will be running. Look at what is happening. So there are factors. Food producers, what are they doing? So I think that Nigerian youth, yes, they are hungry, but I also emphasize this. They should take some of that anger and frustration and go to their farms and produce food.
Dr. Joe, these factors you just mentioned are more like human and government factors, not like they are factors that are beyond the control of the government. For instance, the issue of the refinery and the NNPC and the regulatory bodies, not, for instance, supplying crude to Dangote refinery, and the fact that Port Harcourt refinery, they keep postponing dates of when the refinery will start production. If they are not sure, why giving us hope, false hope? Because it looks like the human factors are really the problem now, because it's no longer that the refinery is not ready. Dangote refinery is ready, but human factors from government agencies are frustrating the effort with the way it looks like.
Yeah,
so that would actually make Nigerians unhappy, knowing that it looks like the government factor, which is supposed to be helping the situation, because as we speak, the CBN just increased the interest rate again. And they've done that almost 3 or 4 times within 1 year. How do you expect the economy to work? The dollar, nobody is saying anything again. At a point, I remember you said that it looks like the dollar will fall and so on. But now we're looking at 2,000 naira. Nobody is saying anything again. We are just comfortable. The government has made us comfortable with the fact that the dollar can rise as much as 2,000 tomorrow morning, and nobody will raise a fuss, and they expect Nigerians to continue this way.
Well, this is not a military leadership where the military will put decree and everybody must follow. One of the things with democracy is that these things will happen. In other words, people will feel free coming up with ways to protect their own interests. So the government will be doing things. But at the same time, unfortunately, in a democracy, people have ways they can undermine it. And therefore, things get shifted. I'm not providing any excuse for the government. But all I'm saying is that unless it's a military leadership, these things do happen. And maybe what the government should be doing more is explaining to the people. But if you look at some target things that they are doing, They are doing some things to help Nigeria Nigerians in the interim.
All right.
Things that help in the long haul are where people are putting obstacles. And my hope is that the government will be working through those using the system, because you cannot be a dictator in a democratic society. It's very hard. So we can't ask for what we cannot provide. And people need to understand that. It's not a decree that government can make and say, okay, everybody step away so that Dangote will move. No. It's unfortunate, but that's the way it is.
All right, because of time, we'll not be able to continue today, but definitely when we'll come some other time, we'll be able to look at these matters as they come. I want to say thank you, Dr. Joe Udiaja, for being a part of Political Roundup this evening. It's been a pleasure always having your insight all the way from the United States of America.
Thank you. Take care.
All right, all the best in the elections coming forward. Okay, and of course, Mr. Nosike, it's always a pleasure having you as well.
Thank you for having me.
Are we looking forward to August?
You know, what I want to say that the difference between we and Dr. Udaji is that or the person, a nurse that is treating somebody having pain, both of them are not on the same page. So Dr. Udaja is reading it, we are living it. Understand me? So we and Dr. Udaja are not on the same page.
All right, definitely not on the same page, because definitely he is reading it and we are living it. In the words of Mr. Peter Noske, who is always a very pleasurable guest with his insights and, of course, erudite comments on the program. All right, as we conclude today's Political Roundup, we thank you for joining us, and catch us again tomorrow at the same time on our YouTube channel, Voice of the People TV. Stay connected with us on all the social media platforms on our VOP TV Live. I am your host, Jerry Apelioy. Good evening.